Hello there YouTubers, this is Royal Ambassador and good morning from Valia here in the Black Desert Online beginners gameplay series. This is part 2 of the series, and today we're going to be talking about contribution points, okay, in a little bit more detail. We're going to be talking about pressing M, and that's the map. We're going to discuss the map. And we're also going to press escape, and we're going to look at what is here in the menu here. Okay, so let's start off with contribution points. Okay, so contribution points are very important within Black Desert Online because they can be used for a number of things. Now, you gain contribution points by talking to NPCs and by completing quests within Black Desert Online, and you gain contribution points by successfully completing quests. So that's what I kind of do as my style of gameplay here. I do questing, PvE content and exploration. I explore the world. I really enjoy doing that. So I get contribution points for doing that, and as it says here, that if you hover over it here, it says contribution points can be used for buying houses, investing in nodes, or renting items. Now, nodes are something we'll discuss when we look at the map, but you can see that contribution points you have to spend. So you earn them and then you spend them when you buy houses, when you do things. So for example, if I want extra storage space, I have to invest contribution points. If I want to buy myself a house so that I can go inside and decorate it, or I want to cook within it, or produce stuff within my house, I have to invest contribution points. So they are very much important contribution points in the game. So I can have a maximum at the moment of 75. Okay, that's where we are. But as my character grows, not only do I get higher energy levels, but I also get a higher amount of contribution points potentially that I could earn. So I've got 3 at the moment, but actually that's quite low because I've just recently spent quite a number of contribution points. So if we have a look at the map by pressing M, here we are. If we zoom out, and it gives you a sort of a feel for the kind of scope that where we are in terms of the map here. This is Bolinos territory. It shows you that there are, at the moment the tax rate is 5%. And at the moment there is a guild that occupies this particular area called Chaos, who the guild master is, and their occupation streak 1 week, because each week battles take place called node wars in this game, and you can have occupation of particular territories if you win those node wars. And you can actually, like as I say, it could have been a 2-week streak if they'd won the second one, and so on and so on. So that's basically, they are the occupying guild within Bolinos territory. Here it's Serendir territory, and we have Addicted as the occupying guild, and they've been occupying it for 2 weeks. So they've successfully defended their area once. So they took it over from another guild, then they defended it from whatever, and then now it's a 2-week streak that they've got going on. So that's a little bit about node wars. There's a lot more about that, but I'm not particularly knowledgeable about PvP and node wars, so that's really for somebody else to explain. But it does happen, and it's interesting. So if we zoom in, I just want to take you to the town of Olvia, because that's where the game starts. Now if I click on Olvia, in here we've got the houses, all sorts of things here. We've got NPCs, we've got here, and we've got different things that kind of tell you what they are if you hover over them. Now if I click on there, in here is an empty house. It can be used for storage, it can be used as a woodwork bench, or it can be used as a residence. Okay, now if I use it as a residence, it means it's my residence, and sometimes you can use them for your workers, and you can have your own little workers needing lodgings, but there's no lodgings available here. It's just a residence, wood workbench and storage. But they're all different. So if I clicked on this one, for example, you can be used as a handcraft workshop as well, a horse gear workshop. So there's all different types. So you have to look at it as if, what do I need this particular building for? And then you make up your own mind as to what whatever you want to use it. So For example, for workers, they need lodging, so I'd have to look for lodgings. If I was, you know, looking for a house in Olvia, there's all sorts of places. And then you can have a worker working out of Olvia for me, basically, and I can tell them to go and do things. It's really exciting. You can actually command them to do things. So coming back out of it from Olvia. Okay, so what we have here is something, that's the whale farm. Now that is, if you click on that, that is I've invested a contribution point in this area. It's connected to Olvia. So these are nodes, what they call nodes, and basically each node specialises in a particular area. So you have to discover these places first. So this place is specialised in olives and special olive crates. So olives, okay. If I wanted to work and produce olives and click on that, I have to go. It says here, visit the node manager to invest. I would have to physically go and see the node manager in that area and invest further contribution points before I could start harvesting those items there. Okay, I've invested in the overall node, 1 contribution point. I've done that with all of them, and then they become connected. So that one's connected. I've got Castor Farm connected, the Olvia Coast connected. This is part of my exploration. This is why I play the game the way I do, because in order to you have to find these places. You have to explore. You have to meet NPCs. They sometimes give you directions. They sometimes give you quests in the area, and then you stumble across things. There is no easy way of doing it. There's no quick transport or instant zipping to different places like you get in other games in this game, which I actually prefer it that way. So let's have a look at Castor Farm. So I've invested in Castor Farm. And here we've got grapes. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, so I've invested in this. I've actually spoken to the node manager, and I could send a worker now to go and start work here and harvest some grapes for me if I wanted to. And what it tells me is I've got 2 workers, one in Heidel and one based in Valia. They can make their way there, and it would take them, I think, for 1 cycle to get. Yeah, so one. How many bunches you get in 1 cycle, but it would take him 50 minutes, depending on the strength of your workers. Now he's a really high level guy, artisan, but if it's a naive worker, it's going to take 2 hours and 5 minutes. A lot. That's the introductory basic level of a worker. So there's the difference between the two. Okay, and you can see workload 198. You go, it changes. Work speed is very much slower with this guy, but much faster with this guy. Okay, and the distance he can travel, movement speed. Yeah, so there we go. That's an example of one that I've invested in. So I could go and do some grapes if I want. I can withdraw my contribution point if I'm not particularly working it, which is actually a pretty good idea at the moment because I'm not working my workers. And what's the point in wasting contribution points on things when you're not actually using them? So I could actually take that out of there, and I could, you know, use it somewhere else. But there we go. Then you got the Olvia Coast, and then you carry on and on and on. These are all other nodes in Wolf Hills. What have we got there? I've invested in the overall node, and then we go into it again, and I have invested there, and that's Ash Timber. So another one that I've invested in. And so we carry on, and then we get to the Western Gateway. Okay, now you've got all different. It's again, highlight these things because I mean that's an NPC. Might be worth visiting him. I think he's a fisherman on the coast. He might have a quest for me. He might have information, the knowledge to share with me, because that is another way of progressing. I told you in the first part 1 that there's nothing that actually doesn't have any effect in this game. So whatever you're doing, if you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining knowledge, and actually there's areas that you can complete where you can complete all the NPCs. You've spoken to them all, you've gained knowledge, you've travelled the world. There's a question mark there, Dace. Okay, I think that is possibly fish available down there on that bit there if you went fishing there. So all these nodes I've found, I've connected them. These are connected to the Western Guard Camp and then up to Valia. They're all connected in. Logia Farm, it's an interesting one. Let's have a look at Logia Farm. It's invested in overall. Potatoes, have I invested in? Yes, I have. I can send guys out to make potatoes, and that's what feeds the workers. Beer feeds the workers, but potatoes is also because it's gone yellow, so obviously I've invested in it there. So there we are, and then we've got Valia, the town I'm standing in at the moment. That's me. And we've got I've been across here to the Kron Castle. I've invested in these nodes. I've explored all that area. The Goblin Cave, that's a very interesting area. Very, very interesting area there. Heidel Pass, and then as you come down here, very beautiful part of Heidel as you come through the pass, mountains into the Northern Guard camp, and eventually you end up in Heidel itself, which is a very big town. A lot going on in Heidel, an awful lot going on in there. So we're back in Valia. This is where I am, still on the beach. I said I was going to talk to you about the escape menu. Here we have a knowledge base, so if I click on the knowledge base, and then up comes the Black Desert Online Wiki, and this is a wealth of information, guys. If you ever have a question on anything, from game information, character, click on character, you get the character. You want to talk about the horoscope. Remember I said that mine was a camel? So if I talk about that, it says here, during the creation process you will select a horoscope. Your horoscope affects NPC interactions and rate of amity gain. Amity gain is something you gain as when you talk to NPCs. It's a reflection of the relationship, the quality of the relationship you have with that NPC. Okay, amity is the way it's described, and there will be certain things like gain 3 or 4 amity with this guy during a conversation. You can do that quite easily, but when you gain amity, you gain their trust, and they give you quests, they give you knowledge, and they might even give you equipment. So it's well worth doing. So there you go. We've just learnt something there about horoscopes. Okay, so that's there. You've got hotkeys, crafting. I don't do a lot of crafting in game, but this is another wealth of information about if you ever did want to do any crafting, how you do it, and say if you were cooking, what the recipes are, that kind of thing. Pearl Shop you've already seen. You remember that one? I showed you in the part 1. We were getting loyalty points and using them to buy these lanterns, but there's a whole host of things in there. Beauty, about changing the way you look and dyeing your clothes. You can do that, absolutely can you. Combining dyes, mixing dyes, getting unique colours. Pets you can buy in the Pearl Shop. I haven't got any at the moment, but they're very, very good. I'm thinking about getting a couple of cats. When you're in combat, pets help you. Believe it or not, they do. My profile, you've seen that. We went through that in the first part, if you remember. Okay, so there's some progress being made there. My inventory. There we are. There's my inventory, all the stuff that I got in it. Fishing rods, tools, and all sorts of stuff there. The Black Spirit you've seen. Questing, the quest box is up here. All the quests that I've got to do. Black Spirit quest, main storyline, and these are the optional ones, the dailies there. I don't do so many of those, but these are all gathering and processing ones. Skills, there's my skills. They're actually down here at the bottom of the screen. Right here, if you hover over them, you do tend to get videos being played as to, you know, how they all look in game. Guild, I'm not in one, but you can be in one, and the guild is a good benefit. There we go. Wages, you get a wage, you're under contract. You have skill effects like extra fishing or gathering enhancements when you're in a guild. You have guild chat, and of course you get camaraderie, which is all important when you're playing games like this. There's a processing screen here. Again, you can have hotkeys for these. It's L, I think, for production. If you just press L, you go up and you can do shaking and grinding and chopping and drying and filtering and heat it. Oh, you name it, you can do it. Fish guide, that's interesting because I like fishing, and the fish that I've caught already will show up hopefully in this. You know, in these pages. I don't know if that fish, it's salt water, isn't it? No, I don't know. Oh, here we are, a jellyfish. I've caught that, so that shows up. Maybe in salt water, because I've actually, yes, look, mud skippers I've caught. When you catch one, you get the information on them, which is really interesting stuff, and they're all gaining knowledge all the time. I've caught quite a few fish by fishing rod. Really interesting stuff. Knowledge, there we go. I said about knowledge, so what this is about knowledge around the game itself. People, knowledge about items, characters, Adventure journal, academics, how many people you've met, life skills. How many certificates have I got in life skills? Oh, I've got shaking beginner, 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 beginner at the moment. So I've got a long way to go with life skills. Basic guide, I've done that, I believe. Oh right, yeah, Valencia Night Merchant. Yeah, these are different areas. I haven't been to Camasilvia, I haven't been to Valencia, I haven't been to Altanova. So there's lots to discover there. I've met lots of people. People of Eastern Bolinos, I've actually got that one. I've met all of them. Look how many there are. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Look. There's lots of people you need to talk to. Well worth doing it because you become quite famous in game. The world map you've just seen, escape. If I get stuck in game, there's a system that gets me out of a difficult situation. Have I got any friends? I did have, but I left the guild, so I don't have. I deleted them. Mail. I've got one mail there. Click on that. I've just got a little bit of silver there to send to storage because of my people I know in game, and that's fame. House Fame Fund, it's called, so it goes into storage. Delete. Workers list, I've got 2. There they are. Marketplace, yep. You can go to a man in game, or you can just click on this, and then you've got market. You buy stuff. Really interesting. Trade information. Okay, I think that's probably changing at times. Yeah, that's. Edit UI, that you can edit the way the game looks, your guild rank if you're in one, your rankings. There is a ranking system in this game where you can rank at fishing, you can rank at life skills, rank at anything really, and it's very competitive. Attendance rewards is what comes up when you start the game for logging in. You get things. Guild check-in, I'm not in a guild at the moment, but loyalties you certainly get. And they're worth quite a bit of money if you want to sell them. Beauty album will be taking pictures and galleries, so as I go around I've been doing that, taking pictures of mountain ranges, of windmills in the wind when it snows, me in the background. It's really good. You can upload them and other people can look at the pictures as well. This is all about PvP, sieges, node wars. I don't know a lot about that. Okay, conquest, battlefield, battle arenas. There are arenas in game, and if you go in one, it's open, it's game on. So don't go in them unless you don't mind getting killed, because people will attack you in them. I think Savage Rift, there are certain monsters that appear in certain areas at certain times. Open to anyone level 56 and above. Okay, so you can get involved in that. Chat filters, language. Yeah, so what language you can change things here. Server changing, yeah, you can change. I'm in Valia 1, but there's so many servers you can just change, and sometimes people want you to change because there's events going on in certain servers, or if you want to join a certain guild you have to be in a certain server. Arena of Arsha, again, I'm not really sure on this one. It's a PvP only area. Okay, I haven't exactly been involved in a lot of PvP. Redeem. You can redeem stuff on the actual website, that kind of stuff. So if you've got credits or anything like that, you can redeem. Militia, find a party if you want to link up. You've got Black Desert Online TV, YouTube videos going on. Social actions is like emotes. If you want to wave at somebody, you just press that. And he waves or he laughs. Or he gets angry. Oh dear. So that's the social emotes. You've got a settings and a disconnect. So settings is, you can change all your settings around, keybinds, your audio, your input, your graphics and stuff. And then this one is when you come out of the game completely, or you swap to an alt. And I've got an alt based in Heidel, and she's in Inanima. That's her. She's been stationed over at the storage. So if I need to get stuff to Heidel, I log it, I send it to her, and then she goes and takes it out and takes it. It's worth having a lot of alts. I haven't got that many, but you can. So that's it, folks. So that's contribution points. That's talking about map and the escape menu for now. And hopefully we'll see you again in part 3. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you hopefully in the next one.